And now it's time for the anticipated 100th episode of 600 Pounds Down. Welcome to the 600 Pound Down podcast. I'm Coach Justin. This guy beside me,
Coach George.
All right, we're alive, we're well, and George, this is our 100th episode, bro.
Yes, if we had one of those docs that had the noises, we'd do like the clappy hands and then the celebration and the champagne and all that stuff.
Maybe we can add one in.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The 100th episode. 100th episode, it's been several years. We've started 600 Pounds Down. We started off with really just like One Step Live for a while and then went to the 600 Pound Down podcast. And George and I have been riding together for some like 3 to 4 years now with this whole thing, and it's been awesome. George, it's funny, you came on as a guest a few times, sharing your journey, starting in your lifting journey and things like that. And then today, here you are, coaching beside me to help other people, which is fantastic. Like literally a co-host now, on pretty regularly with me. You come a long way, big dog. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. And I'm eating carbs now. I'm eating carbs. So many carbs.
And you're not OMADing anymore. No, there's so much. So today, what we want to do, I know it's been a little bit since we've been here with you guys, but we're gonna share our stories and share where we're at, show where we're going, and where we were, honestly. You know, we're going to interview each other. So if you're listening to this right now, you want to stay to the end because you want to hear the secrets that George and I have discovered in the midst of our journey together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to interview him first. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, where he was, where he's at today, and what his forward progress is going to be. And of course, what he's doing to make that happen for himself and how's he being successful. And he's going to ask me the same questions or something very close to it. So you guys get a double whammy today of an episode when it comes to the approaches that two coaches take to become the healthiest versions of themselves. George, I'm actually going to give you the interview now. So George, welcome to the 600 Pound Down podcast as a guest this time. All right, George, so take us to where you were and tell us your story and how you became Mr. I want to be healthy and help other people be healthy.
Well, so I was 24 years old. I was sitting in my doctor's office, and I was a big dude. I tipped the scale at 310. And I never weighed myself except for the doctor's office for obvious reasons, right? We don't like to see the number because the number indicates reality. And when you're that heavy and you don't want to touch reality, you run from reality, right? So like I said, I was pre-diabetic, pre-hypertensive, and my doctor was a pretty easygoing guy, really chill, laid-back guy. But he looks at me and he goes, if you continue to do what you're doing, you're not going to live past 40 years old.
Oof.
Now, mind you, at this point in time in my life, I had just gotten married 6 months prior, and my wife and I at the time were talking about having kids. So, like, Justin, I can't die at 40. Like I can't do that. I got my whole life ahead of me at that point, right? So it's like this is now hit. And right at the same time, I had a really good buddy of mine who went on this keto diet. Keto was not really well known yet at the time. This was back in 2018, so it hadn't hit like the news cycles yet in all the fitness magazines. And in fact, people were saying it was unhealthy, but I digress.
Right.
And he lost 70 pounds. And I'm like, ooh, I mean, I just want to lose like 30. You know, let me just get back down to like 280. Like, let me just do that. So at the time, I went all in, right? So I have the kind of personality where I'm pedal to the metal, 0 to 60, 110%. That's kind of like what I do. So, you know, put that mentality into getting heavy. Now we're going to put that mentality into getting thin, right? So went all in, 1 meal a day. And I went basically carnivore, which is just meat and fat. I think I did some carbs in the beginning, but later on I even tapered off the carbs. Now, mind you, would not do this again, okay? But this is just what I did, right? So lost 30 pounds in a month.
Wow.
I went from 310 to 280 in 30 days.
I want to pause just for a second. I don't remember. It's funny because I've met you a while ago. I do not remember you being like 310 pounds or above like that. I just don't remember that. You held your weight really well, by the way.
Well, I appreciate, I guess, as well as you can, right? as well as you could hold 310 pounds, I think. And I'm also 6'2", so that also helps, right? So it kind of stretches it out a little bit. So, but Jay, when I met you, I was in college. So I was probably floating, you probably saw me at 250 in person.
Okay.
So this, add another 60 pounds. So
Yeah.
my freshman year of college, people, gained the freshman 15. I gained the freshman 50, right? So I went from 230 to 280 in a school year.
I mean, when I met you, I don't want to interrupt your story. I just want to share a little bit because I want people to get the idea of who you are. But I met you, and I remember how much. I mean, you liked food, and as I did, but you loved your Mountain Dew. I remember the Mountain Dew thing was a big. You're like a big Mountain Dew drinker. But I just I want people to get the real like who you were. As I've known you, it's like, wow, this guy, you've come a long way. And so painting the picture of your diet approach back then of how unhealthy it was. I remember, like, we stopped at McDonald's with Larry the one night, our friend there that both of us know. I remember we stopped at McDonald's, and I think you got a couple more than I would get even at that point in my life. And it was just like, wow.
Oh. I mean, I would go to Wendy's. I would get 2 quadruple Baconators. Now, that's not on the menu. You got to ask for that.
You know the secret code.
They're not going to, they don't put that on the menu, but you can get as many patties as you want. There was a college student discount at the local pizza buffet right across the street. I had a car, I had a job, and I like to eat, which is always a bad combination. I had zero self-control.
Painting the picture on who George was. He was he loved food. Just so you know, if you guys are out there listening to this, like, brother loved food. He loves Mountain Dew, and it created a healthy impact. Unhealthy impact on his life. Like, he literally got to 310 right there. Remember, we were talking about that. So, George, you were saying you were starting the keto approach. Again, we'll get back on track now. The keto approach. Go ahead.
So let me tell you this too. Like, with the keto approach, you got to go whole food, right? And that's what I did. Chicken thighs, steak, ground beef. You have to get the fatty, because if you're going to go fat as a fuel source, you got to go fatty meats. You can't go lean meats, right? So that was dark meat chicken, 80-20 beef, steaks with marbling, which is fat in there. Now, mind you, my diet before that, it wasn't that I was eating too much of, like, good food. I was just eating straight up crap food, like DiGiorno's pizzas. There was a drive-through Little Caesars with a 2-liter deal. I mean, it was bad. I mean, 6 Krispy Kreme donuts with a quart of intense chocolate milk for breakfast every day. And I would do that. I would down that chocolate milk and 6 Krispy Kreme donuts in 10 minutes. I mean, that was my diet. My diet was, if I had a Supreme pizza, that was the healthiest thing that I would eat all day. Like, it was so bad. So when you go keto, I went whole food, healthy fats, because you have to. Because processed food is not high in protein, it's high in carbs. And so if you're not going to do carbs, then you're not going to do processed food. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. So think about it this way. I went 1 meal a day, no carbohydrates, so my body's letting loose water like you wouldn't believe. And I am just eating so much protein that I'm always satiated, that I'm just not hungry. So I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. That's different pants, Jay. Like, that's
like a pound a day, brother. That's insane.
I mean, I would lose I think it was like 10 pounds the first week, and then it was like 9 to 10 pounds, and then like 5 to 6 pounds, and it just a week. So, like, I mean, I'll give you a picture. I was a triple XL shirt and a 52-inch waist.
Wow.
And I dropped 30 pounds. I'm wearing, like, a 46-inch waist now, and I'm in a double. Like, I had to go shopping for clothes, Jay. I did not have clothes that fit me. And then over the course of a year of doing this, I lost 90 pounds. Yeah. So July of 2018, I go to a family camp, 310 pounds, right? Or maybe 300. Maybe I wasn't quite 310 yet, but I was definitely over 3. And I, triple X, 52-inch pant. So before July of 2019, then I start getting okay, what's your camp shirt size? I sent back, I need a medium.
Ooh, let's go.
And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm like, I need a medium.
Let's go.
Because I went from in 1 year, I went from 310 pounds to 220.
Now that's in 1 year. So we
One
got
year.
90 pounds down, keto approach, OMAD, and then here you are in smaller clothes. Like, how are you feeling at this point? Like, give me like mentally coming from being a big guy to where you're at 200 and some pounds. Are you like, I feel more confident? I feel good. Tell me more about how it felt.
I definitely felt confident. There was definitely very high highs and very low lows. Looking back on it now, so I was more. We'll start with the good stuff. Like the way the clothes were fitting. My knees didn't hurt anymore. I had more energy. So there was a lot of bodily aches and pains that I didn't realize beforehand that I wasn't realizing. And now and then I was sitting at 220 and I'm like, wow, my back doesn't hurt anymore, or my knees don't hurt anymore, or I can walk without pain. The last time I was in a medium shirt, I think I was like 12. Like, so, like I felt decently good. Now, mind you, throughout this whole time, and this is going to be shocking coming from me now, I did not weight train a lick. There was there was no weight training at all. Zero.
So you got skinny, brother.
I went from fat to now skinny fat. I was weak. I wasn't strong. I had the illusion of a physique because of where my fat was on my body. So like, man, your arms are huge. I'm like, well, that was all. I look back on it now, like that was fat. Like that, there was no muscle there, like at all. Right. I still had a very unhealthy relationship with food. There were foods back then that said were like bad for you, like fruits. Like you can't have fruit that has fructose in it. Those are bad foods. And I think back on that, I'm like, what a dummy. Like,
ooh, you're offending our keto people. Calm down.
Listen, God made it. God said it was good. That's my starting point, man. So I was looking at fruits. I was looking at vegetables. I was looking at potatoes. I was looking at rice, and I'm just like, those are all bad because carbs were equated to bad, to evil, right?
Yeah.
So still a very unhealthy relationship with food. My body changed so fast that my mental image of myself did not catch up with the physical outward image. So like I would look at myself in the mirror, I'd still see myself as fat.
I see.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I hear you.
So that was after a year. Now after 3 years, I lost a total of 135 pounds. So after 3 years, I went from 310 to 175 pounds. At 6'2".
Let's say that again. 175 pounds at 6'2".
Yes. I was wearing a size small t-shirt, and I was wearing a 30-inch pant.
Oof. Wow.
And the crazy thing is I still saw myself as fat.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Well, not really. But I want to share with you Coach George's new book, Confessional Fitness. Man, it's a primer on killing sin, building strength, and redeeming the table. George does a great job navigating what it looks like to be a Christian in the fitness world, how to treat your body, man. This guy has a passion for health and wellness, and he put it all in a book called Confessional Fitness. Don't sleep on this. This is a copy you can pick up on Amazon, both paperback and hard copy. Check out the link in our show notes where you can pick up a copy for yourself. We'll appreciate it, George will appreciate it, and it'll change your life forever. All right, guys, check it out. Now back to your show. What size shirt did you go from until?
I went from a XXX shirt and a 52-inch waist to a size small shirt and a 30-inch waist.
It just blows my mind because, listen, guys, this is coming from Coach George, who is he's like an enthusiast when it comes to weight training and resistance training. Like he's just,
and there's a reason for that, and you're going to hear the reason for that.
We're going to hear it. And we'll talk about this. So you're scrawny. And so health-wise, you got yourself healthier. Let's talk about the positive. You did get yourself healthier. So any diet you go on, technically, if you lose fat and you eat natural, you're going to have benefits to that. You can even go on a vegan approach probably and have some great quality benefits. You might lose muscle on it, but you know what I'm saying. Like you can get healthier in your mitochondria and your cells and things like that. So you got healthier. You gained confidence. You had some smaller clothing, you got to go shopping, like those are all great things. But talk to me about what happened when you were on the OMAD keto approach for that long and why were going a different direction? Like, what are the negatives about it, George?
My relationship with food was horrible. Horrible relationship with food. I would eat a handful of things. I wouldn't go out socially because people were eating food that I couldn't eat, and it was something that I couldn't quite handle. Because I was at a point there where if I fell off the wagon, I was going to fall off the wagon. I had people in my life saying that I looked sick, and I did. I look back and I'm like, how in the world did I ever see myself as fat at 175 pounds? Like, oh my God, I had abs. I had a six-pack. But I didn't have a six-pack because I was fit. I had a six-pack because I was so low body fat percentage that you could see my six-pack.
Yeah.
And I was just scrawny. Going, and mind you, over the course of these 3 years, that was 1 meal a day for 3 years.
Wow.
My
3
my metabolism tanked.
Wow.
Tanked. My maintenance calories were like 2,400 calories.
That is insane, dude.
It just, my metabolism tanked. I was hungry all the time, starving, all the time. It affected my sleep. It affected my energy because I got so thin, and I was eating so little that now I went on the other side of bad, where I didn't have the energy to really function well. Because I kind of hit that sweet spot of functionality at about 220, 215. But then when I got below like 185, then it started going in the bad direction on the other side. Now I was starting to get malnourished. Now I wasn't getting enough micronutrients. I wasn't getting enough food to really sustain bodily life.
Were you starting to feel like weak and just tired and all the things? Yeah. You said you weren't doing well, so like that was the weak and tired feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely. And were you a butcher at that point?
I wasn't. I actually had a sedentary job during that time. I don't think I could have handled doing the job.
I was gonna say no. I don't think
that
so
I have
either.
now. No, I don't think I would have had the energy. I was in the public schools. I was a teaching aide. I was sitting a lot, and I saw myself, and it finally clicked. Like, bro, you're like a freaking stick. You lost so much muscle, and so then I started getting into body weight training. Insanity Max 30 was my best friend. Because it was all bodyweight training. So I actually went, so Insanity Max 30 are 5 high intensity interval training workouts that you do that are 30 minutes a day, and it's a 60-day circuit, and I actually did that twice. So
Okay.
twice. I went through the cycle twice, so I did it over the course of 120 days.
Okay.
Because I did that, well, someone had to start eating carbs, Justin.
The anti.
So that's when I started eating potatoes, sweet potatoes. I wasn't full blown rice yet or oats, but I was starting to eat potatoes, sweet potatoes.
Before you get into that real quick, how long after you noticed yourself, like you said you were an aide and you looked in the mirror one day and then you saw yourself scrawny, and you're like, wow, I need to put on some muscle. But like, how long after your awareness of that did you actually start something? It's just one day, like, I need to gain muscle, so I'm going to try this, or like, how'd that happen?
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just, like I said, it's just my personality. So it's
Yeah.
like, I tried doing Insanity when I was 310, so I already had the discs.
Yeah.
But I was so big, and I would never suggest anyone.
Oh, I remember Insanity. I remember, like, I had the DVD. Somebody gave them to me. No.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not that one. There's another one that I used, but it was something close to that. But there are two like big things out at the same time, basically.
Yeah,
And I was
Insanity Max 30, and then yes, I know exactly.
I forget what the other one's called.
P90X.
P90X. That's what it was. You're absolutely right.
P90X.
Yes, that's what it was. Anyways, a buddy of mine had Insanity, and he was watching a video working on like. I was probably higher 300s at that point, or yeah, about 300 some. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. That's like too much for me. But yeah, I can imagine being 310. But you started that when a lower weight, like 175, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I already had the discs.
Yeah.
And so, but what I was surprised about is how light I was. I could move.
You're like, I can jump.
Yeah, I can jump. I can get down quick.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just the cardio is basically being able to do that more than 2 times. So basically that's what I started doing. I started doing Insanity Max 30. That's 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Started eating carbs. Over the course of a month, I think I gained 10 pounds. I went from like 175 to about 185. And then I had a 6-pack, and it was real. Like, it was a...
So 10 pounds in a month, most of the time, your body was severely dehydrated probably, so I'm
Yeah,
sure you put on some water that your body needs because when you gain muscle, you need water. Your
yeah,
muscle is a lot of water muscle. And on top of that, you're probably repairing your body and then, you're eating carbohydrates and you're
yeah,
replenishing the glycogen into the cells there. So,
yeah. I definitely filled out.
yeah,
Like it
some muscle
wasn't.
of course too.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I think my body was just primed for it. My body was like, feed me. So I think a lot of it, and that's when I really started. Like, I'm already a high protein guy anyway. Like, I like meat, so that wasn't getting my protein has never been a problem.
Sure.
And so being able to and plus I was already starting eating good food too, so like that was another like something in the back wheel well that I had to. So I was already eating good. I was already eating good foods at that point, just introducing good carbs.
Yep.
And I put on I had a pretty good physique. Like if we're talking aesthetics, that was my most aesthetic physique I ever had. I don't think I've had abs since about 2020. um,
Let me ask you.
yeah.
Ask you on that. Do you feel like that was sustainable though? Like
No.
so you're doing this, right? And you're trying to get healthier, you're doing all your things and it feels good in the moment, right? But were you maybe thinking to yourself like, "Man, I can't keep up with this." Have you thought about that?
Yes. I was definitely what you would call bodybuilder lean. And by bodybuilder lean, I was probably sub 8% body fat.
Hmm.
Being sub 8% body fat starts affecting a lot of things. It starts affecting hormonal health. It starts affecting bodily uh, biomechanics, just regular about like digestion and
Yeah.
movement and joints and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, bodybuilders when they get down sub 8%, even sub 5% body fat, that is only for a short amount of time because you cannot sustain that. Your body's going to fight against that. So I was like that for probably a solid year at
Wow.
that amount of body fat. So when I started introducing carbs and workouts, telling my body to keep and build muscle, I think my body probably put on so much muscle compared to how much actual body fat that I was putting on because my body was just ready for it. It was like we've been starving for a year. Feed me,
Yeah.
build me, and I think that's basically what happened. Um, and so after about 2 months, or not 2 months, 4 months, I did the cycle twice. I was probably sitting at 180, yeah, 185,
I
185
remember those
pounds.
pictures. I remember those pictures. I mean, I think this is when we started the One Step Live for a little bit. I think I interviewed you on
Yeah,
that. And I think you were doing I don't remember if you were I don't. Yeah, I think it was more on the tail end of what you were doing there because you were really. I mean, you were very lean but strong looking. You know what I mean? Like you had like a
yeah.
muscle lean to you. But over the years, man, you've progressed into a different field. So trying to give me an audience like a help me identify like what's the difference, how did you transform from okay, I'm lean, I'm getting muscle with this, but now I'm going to actually go into more strength training and bodybuilding in this capacity, like give me some more information on that. How'd you transition to this new lifestyle you're doing?
My body weight started to become insufficient weight to build muscle. I got so strong so fast, but I was still pretty light that me at 185 doing all the movements for Insanity Max 30, it was more cardio than strength building at that point. I capped out, if you will. So I needed to find greater sources of resistance. So that's when I started doing weight training. And honestly, it started off as a lot of like dumbbell work. And then I started experimenting with barbells. Now, I was working at a school at this time. And so I would go to the school's weight room downstairs after work because I was an employee. I got to go down there for free. And so I just started experimenting with stuff dumbbells. And then I got into barbell work. Deadlifting, and once I started doing that, and I went from like 185 up to 207 over the course of like 2 years.
Mhm.
Dude, I blew up when I started doing that. Like I have a picture. It's a three-panel picture. I still have it. It was February 2018 when I was 310 before anything started. Then I had one from me from 2021 that 175 pounds shirtless, and then I had one from it was like from February of like 2022 or 2023, and I was at 207, and the difference between the 175 and the 207. Now remember, that's over 30 pounds in a year, bro. I was freaking like it looks like I just proportioned up like crazy.
I want to hit on that a second. So most people would look at that and say, "Oh my gosh, I gained 30 pounds. I must like." Did you have when you compared that picture? Is there anything in your mind thinking, "Oh, I look fat today," versus or at that point versus 175? Like, could you see yourself in a good light or a bad light?
When I took that picture at 207, I thought I looked fat.
Really?
I look back on that picture now, I wish I looked like that. So mind you, when I gained, it was 32 pounds. When I gained 32 pounds, okay, my waist fluctuated 2 inches, and my shirt fluctuated 2 sizes. I went from a small to a large, and a 30 to a 32. I still wear a 32 today, and I'm 215.
Yeah.
So from 2021 at 175 pounds to 2026 at 215 pounds, I have fluctuated maybe at most 4 inches on my waist. That's it. But see, now with us sitting here today, those are the metrics that we measure now.
Yes.
Shirt sizes, waist sizes.
Yes.
We don't measure scale weight. We measure circumference of like the waist and the chest and the arms. Like if you gain, what's 215 minus 175? What is that, 40 pounds? Okay, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Gained 40 pounds in 5 years. So now with all of that kind of culminating, there are a lot of things that I would have done different. Obviously, I did those things. I got a certain result. But I almost went through 2 transformations. I went from fat to skinny, and then I went from skinny fat to fit. So I feel like I just like my body. It's amazing that my body is still like functioning what I put it through over the last 8 years. Like over the last 8 years, I have put my body through so much.
Yes, I hear that. We're hearing that. No, I was going to say the same thing to you. I was like, you've actually experienced multiple transformations, and it's quite amazing. This is something that most people won't do. Like, they hear about my story and they're like, "Oh, that's amazing," but like, we don't talk about the guys and gals who actually like, okay, I lost a lot of weight, now I'm gaining the muscle back. Like, you don't see a lot of that. And you're a prime example of that. That's impressive as well, because that's not easy. You could easily stayed at the lighter weight and just said, "I look good right here and I'm good." But it wasn't sustainable. But some people just do it. But you're like, "No, I want muscle. I want to be healthy." And we know today muscle brings a lot of longevity and health to the body. There's so much more benefit. Actually, I just read a study. You can be thick and have extra fat layers on the body, but good muscle, and you would be healthier than a person who's just skinny. So. Yes. Yeah, there's a license to be, I'm not going to say this in like a real way, but obese, if you will. If you're a fit, active, obese person or overweight person, you can manage that. It's not as healthy. You can still lose fat, but you're probably ahead of the game. Back to you anyway. So just really cool that you were able to really do that and have 2 different transformations.
Well, and so, gracefully, I feel like I can sit here and speak to the obese person, the overweight person who wants to lose fat, but I can also sit here and speak to the skinny person who wants to build strength from a skinny place, from a weak place. So I feel like I can speak to both camps now.
Oh yeah, that's the beautiful part.
Because now I know what it means to lose fat, but now I also know what it means to gain good weight too. And actually, if you think about it, it took me 2 years to lose 135 pounds. Yeah. Get this, took me 2 years to lose 135 pounds. Took me 5 years to gain a good 40.
That's a really good comparison. Fat comes off pretty easy, but also muscle comes off pretty easy if you don't give enough fuel and work it. But it takes work and effort to put the size back on in a healthy way. Yeah. That's consistency, brother.
That is in the gym 3 to 4 days a week. That's with a good diet, good whole food diet. You got to give your body fuel. Body needs good fuel for good muscle, right?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, so what is Coach George? So let's take me back to the Mountain Dew days and the pizza and the 20 hamburgers that you would eat in one sitting versus today. Like, what's your, and I know if he's fibbing, by the way, because I know George and I got to hang out with him, and I know you have in your cupboards. I snuck around, brother. So So tell me about the comparison there. Like, where are you at, and what can people learn from you in this situation?
Well, I definitely had a high fat, high carb, high sugar diet back in the day. 252 ounces of Mountain Dew a day from 7-Eleven. Bro, crazy. Cookies, ho-hos, chocolate, candy, pizza. Like, oh, but weren't you eating like McDonald's hamburgers, dude? McDonald's hamburgers are like 70% fat. Okay, like that. Let's stop kidding ourselves. That ain't protein.
That's
All right, that's protein. Okay, that's fake. Fake protein. Protein. Okay. That's a new rule. That's copyright. 600 pounds down. But yeah, man, it was a high fat, high sugar processed diet. I mean, if there was a playbook to gain fat and die quickly, I mean, it was, man. I just like we one time I was in college and I was living at home when I was in college. I was at a community college. My eating habit got so out of control. I was actually stealing money out of my mom's purse.
Oh my god.
To go buy food. Like you want to talk about drug addict. Like food was my drug, no cap. I mean, it was no cap, fam. Full stop. But trying to reach the younger audience right now. Just kidding. It got so bad that my dad and my mom actually were like, you need to come up to our room and talk to us. I'm like, oh shoot. Like, okay. Wow. They literally sat me down. They thought that I was stealing money to like do illicit things. Like because it was so much money that I was taking. And my dad's like, dude, you need to tell me what you're doing this money. Like, I swear I'm just buying food. Like I'm just like that's how bad the theft got. So don't tell me food's not a drug. On a serious note, don't tell me food's not a drug. Food was my drug. I was addicted to food. I was addicted to food so much that my families thought that I was doing illicit things with stolen money. Wow. Like that's how bad it got.
That's insane.
And but this is why. Side note: this is why the alcoholic. Oh well, we'll walk alongside of you. We'll go to this meeting and we'll be there for you. A phone call away. Drug addict. Oh, we're gonna go to rehab and we're gonna walk beside you. And do you need an ear? And then it comes to food. Just stop eating so much, fatty.
We love you guys. He's not.
Well, and here's the problem. Because it's not illegal or potentially illegal, we just write off food addiction like it's nothing. Like, right. No. The people who are eating food like a drug, they need as much help as the alcoholic and the drug addict. Because, let me tell you this, it is their drug. Mm-hmm. True. It's a drug. It's a dope. It is the fattest, biggest, gnarliest dopamine hit that some of us can ever take.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right.
So when I say that because if you have someone who is just overweight, can't stop eating, eats food like a drug, that is a real addiction.
Yeah. We
can be freed from it. We're Christians here. We believe that Christ can free us from it. Everything is permissible, but not everything is profitable. We're a slave to nothing.
Right.
Right? But they need help. I needed help. You needed help. Yeah. It's not just, oh, we'll just stop eating so much. Like, guys, I'm telling you, it's a drug.
Yeah, I agree. But you were able to get out of that. That's the thing.
I was.
Now, here's the thing. You're not perfect. Like, I'm not perfect. We're going to have treats here and there. We're going to have things here and there. But your normal go-to of foods has been really dramatically cleaned up. I mean, and you eat so well today. Like, your food choices are great. I've tasted it, bro. It's great. So you went from all the junk, like sugary, high fat, McDonald's, whatever, like all the junk, to where at today.
So, like, I'll tell you something that I have for a sweet treat. For a sweet treat, I like to get frozen berries. I'll put them in a bowl. I'll nuke them so they're all nice and hot and bubbly like jelly, right? And then you smush them. Smush it all together. Get some powdered peanut butter. Put some powdered peanut butter in there and swirl it all together. And then you get a little bit of maple syrup. Put some maple syrup in there. And now if you want to make it high protein, put a little bit of Chobani, cookies and cream. You've had this with me.
Ooh, I'm reliving it in my
head. Yeah.
I'm like, I want that.
But that's my candy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, God made some amazing sweet berries, maple syrup. Like, listen, that's a sweet treat. Now we have gotten to a place in our culture where that is seen as healthy and not quite fun. It's not quite fun enough for me. Right. There's not as much. There needs to be more MSG and cane sugar and it just doesn't have enough aspartame for my liking. You
That's
know,
right.
and people are, but that's my sweet tooth. Something that I've been doing lately is we've been I've been kind of locking it down, tightening up some screws. I posted a picture of this in the 600 Pounds Down group of my cart for the week.
Yeah.
There's a grand total of chicken, 5 different things
Yep.
in that cart.
Yeah.
Jasmine rice for carbohydrates, quick acting carb, doesn't bloat me. 12 pounds of chicken that I will work through in a week. And frozen berry medley for some antioxidants, veggies, and fiber. Cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese for protein, and also it's cultured, so that helps. Daisy cottage cheese, 4 different ingredients, nothing artificial in there. And I use a tablespoon of butter in my rice, chicken, and vegetable bowl, and a little bit of soy sauce. And I'm not averse to a little, sugar-free, a little sauce to kind of grease things up a little bit. But my rule sitting, my rule sitting here today is a solid 80-20 rule.
So eat clean,
80% clean, 80% clean, 80% is natural, 80% natural, 20% sugar-free Skinny Girl Ranch, or you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I do.
How many? How many times a day are you eating now? By the way.
3.
3. Okay.
3. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Cottage cheese and some fruit for breakfast. Slow-acting casein protein. Casein protein breaks down a little bit slower than regular animal protein. Cultures help out. The berries help the protein get into my system a little bit faster because of the sugar. And also the cottage cheese and the fats and the protein just kind of sits with you a little bit longer. And then I'll eat it. That's usually about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm a late breakfast guy.
Yeah.
And then I'll usually eat at lunch, which is a pound of chicken, 85 grams of jasmine rice, a package of steamable cauliflower medley with a tablespoon of butter, and I mix it all together. Maybe I add some sauce. But I eat that twice for lunch and dinner. That's it. That's all I eat.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So yeah, your foods are very simple and basic, and then once in a while you're having a treat, maybe Chipotle. Yeah. I think you said was your kryptonite sometimes, and you guys got one a couple months ago.
Double meat guac, bro.
Oh my gosh. $30 per order. That's just so insane. It's so insane. I make my own guac anymore. Like, don't forget that. I make my own guac. But your Chipotle is your thing. So tell me your workout. So you didn't talk about this, and we got a couple minutes left for your interview here. Tell me your past workout versus today. Like, how does that compare? Because I want the listener to identify with you and say, all right, I'm putting on muscle, I'm putting on size, I'm eating 3 times a day, and you're having what, 3,200 or 33,000 to 2,800, 33,000 calories a day?
Right now?
Yeah.
26.
Okay, because you're cutting a little bit.
I am. I was about 218. I'm sitting at 215 after about 3 weeks.
Okay, so you're slowly cutting, just kind of burning a little bit of fat, which is good. That's not. But normally you're like what, 2,800 to 3,000 roughly, if you're putting on more size.
It's actually gotten a little bit lower. I'm 32 now, so I've noticed my caloric needs are not as high.
Okay. Yeah. So his purpose here was to put on more size and strength and muscle because of his job, and also because he has different goals, and that's fine. That's really good, actually. Everybody's so different. And now he's cutting a little bit of fat, so he trimmed back down to 2,600 calories per day, which actually is. Beforehand, you would cry like a little schoolgirl when you had that.
I was.
I believe you're actually going that low right now.
When you have clean food, the calories are better. Your body knows what to do with those calories, and so I'm not doing as much processed healthy food. I'm just doing healthy food,
which works, and it's working great. So tell me about your workouts. Where were you versus where you at now?
So I'll start with the basic weight training that I was doing. So calisthenics is kind of calisthenics. It was good. It was great. But when I started weight training, I started off. I've always been a 4-day-a-week guy. I don't know why. Maybe it's just easier for me. A lot of upper lowers. I would fluctuate with like 6 days a week doing back and buys and stuff like that, or triceps and all that other stuff. But I generally float towards upper lower. And then an upper lower throughout the week. So 2 uppers, 2 lowers, make sure I get some good rest days. I used to lift crazy heavy. You remember that. I mean, there was a day that I was doing 60,000 pounds in one leg workout. Those days are gone, Jay. That was I need to be able to function and
Yep.
live life decision.
Yep.
There were times where I would get sucked into social media, and these guys would be lifting crazy weight, and they'd been lifting the same amount of time, and they'd be the same age as me. So I would think to myself, well, I got to keep up with them. But what I forget is that this is their life. This is what they do as their life, and that's not me. So it used to be really, really heavy. When I was 26 is when I started doing weight training. I used to rip 415 on deadlifts for reps.
Wow.
I can still do like 315 for reps, which is nice. But now, basically, what I was doing before was traditional bodybuilding training, but yet I also had to go live my life, right? So
Mhm.
I would bodybuild train, and then I would go live my life, but my knees always hurt. My back always hurt. I was always sore. I was never fully recovered. So all of the rest of my life was suffering because I was pushing so hard over here.
Yeah.
So, and even in recent months, what I have done was I'm a butcher. I do butchering work, meat cutting work, retail wise. So I looked at the job, and I looked at the needs that I have to have in my job. I evaluated all the movements that I need to be able to do at my job, and then I built a workout around it.
Yes, that's so smart.
So,
Yeah.
so when people ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" Oh, and I do this, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do that." Well, you can, but this is specifically tailored to my vocation and living the rest of
Right.
my life.
They don't think about that.
No.
They think, that's something I never even thought of. Like, okay, yeah. So that's really smart. So you're tailoring your workouts to what you really need at your workplace. Really, it's that simple.
So I'll give you a for instance. Nobody thinks about grip strength.
Grip strength. Yep.
No one ever considers grip strength. I need it. I
Hmm.
got to be able to take a piece of meat that's 40 pounds, take it in one hand, grab it, take it out of the box, and throw it onto a meat saw. So what do? I do hanging and cleans
Uh-huh.
and farmer's carries with 45s around my gym.
Yes.
So it looks weird, but my grip strength is 145 pounds.
Let's go. Good for you.
And I also deadlift. You'll see a lot of people say, well, deadlift isn't functional. Deadlift isn't functional. Generally, they're right. For me, it is. If I have a 100-pound case on the floor, I'm spreading my legs out. I'm taking my hands shoulder at the part because that's where the handles are in the box, and I have to pick that up.
Yeah.
So that's a deadlift. And then I got to throw it up on a top shelf. So now what is that? Well, now that's a shoulder press.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So I have deadlifts in my routine. I have shoulder presses in my routine.
Perfect.
Case in
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. That's good. So you're at the gym 4 times a week now doing your
Yeah.
strength.
Leg days are about 45 minutes. Uppers are about an hour.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when you're done with those workouts, do you feel pretty content? Like, are you whooped, or are you like you just work out well, progressive overload?
Something that I've learned is that if you don't feel like you can go and seize your day after a workout, you push too hard.
Hmm.
Um, the way I gauge whether or not I had a good workout is, okay, can I go and like live the rest of my life? Can I go and take a walk? Can I go play with my kids? Can I go out and do this? If I can, that's great, because the next day I'll feel a little bit of soreness. If you feel soreness immediately after the workout, you're going to wake up the next day and you're not going to be able to move. If you're working out right now and you feel like you can't do anything after a workout, I'm going to tell you this, you're going too hard, you're going to burn out, you need to lighten it up. But if you feel soreness the next day, but it's soreness where it's like you notice it, but it's not debilitating, that's when you know you had a good workout the day before.
Good.
You did just enough for muscle synthesis to occur, but you also didn't hurt yourself and you didn't injure yourself.
Yeah, that's really good. So George, with the remaining couple minutes here, what's your next step? Like, where are you going, and how can people? What are things you want to leave with people to learn from you today?
Working out should not be your life.
Uh-huh.
Working out should improve your life.
Ooh.
So I used to work out, and I made it my life. I made it my identity. And that cost me some things.
Mm.
Big things. When I finally realized that working out was meant to make the rest of my life better and better lived, that's when things started changing. That's when I started cultivating the things that I wanted to cultivate during a workout. Discipline, reaching for bettering myself, stewardship, being a better dad, being more involved in my community. Those are the things that the gym should help cultivate. And honestly, that also cultivated into this book. So we are filming this on May 31st. My book drops on Amazon June 1st, tomorrow, the day of this recording. So if you are wondering, as a Christian, I did write this from the Christian's perspective. Now anybody can read it, but if you are wondering as a Christian, how does my health and fitness relate to my Christianity? And how does my Christianity influence my health and fitness? You're going to want this book. I talk a little bit about my story, but mostly what I talk about are the things that I learned throughout living my story. So this is after 8 years of trying to figure it out, culminating into a very, very easy to read primer, 83 pages, to hopefully keep others from a long time of figuring out. So
I love it, man. I'm going to grab my copy. You sent me a copy autograph, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You're like, no, actually, I did. I better get out in the back. No, it's good. I'm looking forward to reading it, man. Like, that's a long time coming, and I would love to definitely read that. No, George, I appreciate you sharing your life and your story here, and buying the book Confessional Fitness will only give our audience more information on who you are and what you offer and what you do, and just your heart. That's the thing. And I've just observed your growth and just your passion for health, your passion for Jesus, your passion for just overall tying those two together, spirituality with fitness, and that's just evident in your life. So I'm thankful for you and just the expertise you bring to the table. He sometimes looks at himself and he doesn't give himself enough credit, and he's pretty humble with stuff. But I'm just saying, man, like, you have a voice that people will follow because you know what you're talking about, and you live it. So that's sometimes all we need is somebody who knows what they're talking about and living it, right? It's just, you're doing really well.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, we're thankful for Coach George, and his information will be in the show notes. And then we'll be back with the part 2 here momentarily here on the
600 Pounds Down podcast.
Love you guys. See you soon.